Hello, my name is Jonathan Tetzlaff, and what we're going to talk about now is business continuity. Crisis management and business continuity are terms that are often used at some organizations almost interchangeably. There is a lot of overlap. It's what you do when something goes wrong and how you respond to that. But there are also important, critical, in fact, distinctions. Crisis management is what you do in the immediate response to something going wrong. It's that minutes to even seconds sometimes, seconds to minutes to hours response. How do you deploy people? How do you get people out of an area? What other work sites do you set up? How do you respond right away? Business continuity, in contrast, is kind of the days to weeks after that crisis. It's making sure that you have the plans in place to get back to where you were before the incident occurred. And it's that piece, it's that stage that sometimes drives companies into bankruptcy. And therefore you need to prepare for that stage. First and foremost is management continuity. If the head of your organization is killed in the incident or is otherwise inaccessible, does somebody in that organization have the authority and the knowledge and the backing to step up and move that organization forward, to make very difficult decisions, sometimes very expensive decisions, extremely quickly, and know simply by their saying it, it has the force of law. It actually happens. Many corporations rely on one very senior person who is highly trusted, but when they're gone, people are so used to working by committee that they don't feel empowered to make decisions on their own. You also want to look at supply chain. You may be, as a business or an organization, prepared to move forward with your business internally. But if you're used to getting steady supplies from outside, whether it's manufacturing supplies or other types of material, you need things like electricity, you need water, you need basic support. And if you don't have those types of things in place in the event of an emergency, you are probably not functioning, perhaps at all, certainly not functioning in the most efficient manner possible. You want to look also at alternative work sites. If the incident that's occurred means that where you usually go to work every day and where you've even perhaps planned to deal with a crisis, a war room, an emergency response center, is suddenly unavailable, you need to know where to go. You need to make sure everybody else who's supposed to be there also knows where to go, and you need to make sure they have a way to get there. All those things sound so simple and so self-evident, but when you're actually in a crisis situation and you don't have the basics, a street address, enough cars, the right phone numbers, everything can stop because of these little details that could have been handled in advance if they had been planned in advance. You need to make sure also when people get to that alternative work site that there are things there that let them do their jobs. That might be computers, files, data, or other materials. Again, a big empty room is just that. You need to make sure you have the tools in place to do your job. You also want to look at distributed data management, and I've touched on that data piece. Most organizations back up their data. What many organizations don't do is to see if they can access that backed up data in a real-time manner in the event of an emergency. If things are backed up in a remote location, if information is, it may be very safe. It may also be inaccessible, so it doesn't do you any good in the event of an emergency. I've set up operations like this for corporations and exclusive private schools for many years. And I can help you set up a business continuity plan for your organization also. Give me a call, send me an email. There's no obligation to that. There's certainly no cost for the discussion. It's something I welcome. It gives me an opportunity to get to know you, get to know your organization, your business, and your concerns, and gives you an opportunity to decide if I'm someone you want to work with, if I have the skill set and the focus to bring a more effective approach to how you deal with a range of crises and a range of business continuity challenges. I encourage you to reach out to me, and I thank you so much for your time.